Hi, this is Anderton with the Construction Profit Blueprint. And I'm going to share with you in this video a framework for making great decisions in your construction company. Your company has three main phases that you go through time and time again. You've got the bid, the build, and the build. In each one of these phases, there's decisions that you have to make that have a long-term impact upon the success, the growth, and the profitability of your organization. And that's exactly why it's critical you have a framework that you can use again and again to make the best possible decisions. Viktor Frankl says this: between stimulus and response, there's a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and freedom. I'm going to spend time talking about that space between the stimulus and your response, and how you should use that space to make great decisions that can contribute to your freedom and your growth. So the space between, there's three things that happen. Number one, you've got to control your emotions. Number two, you've got to use a framework to help you make your decisions. And in that framework, number three, you've got to stay true to the purpose, the values, and the strategic plan of your organization. So as far as controlling your emotions is concerned, three things, negative emotions or negative things that can happen when stimulus comes in: fight, flight, or waffle. Construction at its very best is a collaborative endeavor. You're collaborating with other subcontractors, with general contractors, with the owners, with suppliers, with designers. Fighting doesn't help you to build a long-term successful business. Collaboration is the way to go. And if you're a fighter, you need to check that a little bit. Now, at the same time, you don't want to be someone who runs away every time an issue comes up. You've signed a contract, they've signed a contract. You as the leader of your organization need to stand for your contractual rights and make sure that you support your people in those challenging situations. And then lastly, don't waffle. When your folks come to you looking for clear direction, don't give them indecision, because you might be surprised what they do next, which will typically be to go out and make their own decisions. And if you don't like it, it's your fault. You need to make clear decisions and help them execute those decisions. So, in that space between, control your emotions. Then use a framework to make great decisions. Let me share a framework that Andy Grove first talked about in his book, High Output Management. That framework involves three things: free discussion, clear decision, and full support. So the stimulus comes in, and you as the leader of your organization should initiate free discussion with people in your company to figure out what you're going to do to respond. In that free discussion, listen 80% of the time and talk 20% of the time. Allow your people to give you their input so that you can really move forward with a decision that is based upon you tapping into the genius of the folks in your organization. Once the free discussion has happened, you as the leader of your company have every right to make a clear decision and expect full support from the folks in your organization. Based upon those three steps, you can then respond to the stimulus. What if your response is incorrect? Well, humble yourself and start the process all over again. Free discussion, clear decision, full support. The best companies go through this process again and again and again and move forward, building profitable, successful, long-lasting organizations. So in that space between, control your emotions, use a framework, and then stay true to the purpose, the values, and the strategic plan of your organization. Let me give you some more details on that last one. Every organization that is successful is very clear on the purpose of their organization, the values that drive them, and then a strategic plan that helps them to be successful. I was working with one of my construction clients, and the purpose of their business is to crush the competition. And I just love that. They're competitive guys, and they just love going out there and kicking butt. Their values revolve around the quality of the work that they do and their customer service. And as far as their strategic plan is concerned, they want to do negotiated design build projects with certain types of clients. Now, a little while ago, they got into some trouble in their organization because they had an opportunity to do a project that would crush the competition. But the problem was it wasn't design build, and it wasn't with the right type of client. So they were true to their purpose, but they were out of alignment with their values and with their strategic plan, and they really struggled in that project. Thankfully, they were able to learn from the mistakes that they made and go through their decision-making process so that they weren't going to do those kinds of projects again. And that's exactly why when you're responding to the stimulus, you need to stay true to the purpose, to the values, and to the strategic plan of your organization. And by the way, if you're not crystal clear on what the purpose of your company is and what the values that drive your behavior are, and what your strategic plan is on a 90-day basis, that is one thing that you really need to work on in order to drive a successful organization. So in that space between the stimulus and the response, control your emotions, use a framework, and then stay true. If you'd like to take a deeper dive into a framework for making great decisions in your organization, check out the Construction Profit Blueprint video series that I've put together. It's a process I've used with my construction clients for over a decade to help them to identify, analyze, and then maximize profit opportunities in their organization. It can have a 6 to 7 figure impact in your company within 30 to 90 days. All you have to do is click on the button here on this page to learn more about the video series and to get started watching it. If you like this video, feel free to share it with other construction company owners. I really appreciate that. Again, my name is Anderton, and thanks for watching this video.